You ain't telling them no lies. It's your boy Stevie83, and we're back with another react. You know what I'm saying? Today, we got Brittany on the set. We're going to react to the craziest creatures caught on camera. This stuff breaks the internet. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We out here. These people crazy.
So you ready to get freaky? From terrifying mutants to unexplained entities, these are the strangest creatures caught on camera. Back in June of 2024, a Redditor named LilSnuff69 made a now-deleted post in the Paranormal Encounters subreddit. Their mom had sent them a video from inside her house that sent a chill down both of their spines.
What do you think it was?
What is that?
You guys saw that,
like
right? The weird black blob.
Oh, shit.
Well, it
what
set Reddit ablaze, and the creepy video quickly spread to all four corners of the internet.
Look at that, Britt.
What the hell are we looking at? Whatever it is, it seems to head outside, but Snuff was adamant that the screen door was totally shut. So did it pass straight through the glass? Some commenters pointed out that the blob beast looks like the tail of a dog. Sounds reasonable, but if there was a black dog in the house, it'd be mentioned straight away, right? So Mom can't own a dog. Least of all, one that could phase through the back door. Creepy. Now, I'm sure it's possible that this is all one big hoax, that it really is just footage of somebody's dog wandering through their house.
That little dog would not reach up over that tabletop.
And the dog is really walking past the door, not through it. But I don't know. Something about the whole thing seems off, and the fact Snuff deleted their account afterwards just doesn't sit right with me.
Man, why they did that?
April 2021, Gujarat, India. In the home of a farmer named Ajay Vasava, a goat was giving birth. Ajay was utterly stunned when he laid his eyes on what the goat had given birth to. Gah!
Oh my God, man. Oh my goodness. They gotta quit messing. They gotta quit doing it to them pigs. I mean, them, what are they?
Goat? What is that?
Whew.
What?
Man, that looks like he should have pulled out.
It looks like a potato.
The result of a lonely farmhand seeking solace with a particularly curvaceous goat? Well, if you ask the locals, they'd tell you quite the opposite. In India, goats hold religious significance, so the deformed animal is seen as a sign from God. A group soon formed inside the farm.
What kind of sign is that? If that's a sign, hey, we don't want no part of it.
Worshipping the creature in the belief it was some kind of rebirth form of their ancestors. But then, after just 10 minutes, the animal passed away. Weird, huh? Well, a year later in Madhya Pradesh, something similar happened. A different goat gave birth to another beast that looked decidedly un-goat-like.
Nah, man. My man got them new Ray-Bans on. He got them new Ray-Bans on.
What is that?
What the freak is that?
It looks like an old man with a beard.
In India. But let's be rational here. There's no way these are monsters, devils, or deities, right? A quick Google search will bring up countless stories like this. No, in reality, it seems that goats are just especially susceptible to genetic mutations in their offspring. These mutations can occur at random, but are also caused by Rift Valley fever, a disease spread by mosquitoes that's known to impair the development of infant goats. Well,
no way, it's from mosquitoes.
I'll let you pick your poison.
That ain't right.
If you don't have a fear of hairy bugs, then you'll start having one now. Earlier this year, a viral video surfaced on Facebook showing a moth-like creature with huge hairy appendages protruding from its back. Here's the video.
What is that?
Oh, that's a fly.
Indeed, this is a moth, and it's called a Creatonotos gangus moth, which is mostly present in Southeast Asia and Australia. Despite its once it's ready to mate, the Koromata inflates and disperses pheromones to attract a potential partner. The size of a male's Koromata is determined according to the amount of alkaloid chemicals it consumed during its caterpillar stage. The more they intake, the bigger their Koromatas would be once they mature. Terrifying as they may be, please don't hurt them if you chance upon one. The deep
This
sea
fuck, he
holds
was
many
twerking.
bizarre creatures that are yet to be
He
discovered.
was twerking.
And back in
feel
2012, a
violated.
strange balloon-like creature was caught on tape in deep waters. Take a look at this video.
What the world is that? like a
Speculations
condom.
ran around stating that it
Or
might
a
be a whale placenta
hairnet.
or
Yeah,
a fishing
hairnet.
net swept into the depths of the sea.
That's
Like
a
Kaya
And
do
the
rag.
guesses
She
were
got a
correct,
bonnet
though,
on.
as experts
got a
have
bonnet
confirmed
on.
that the creature spotted
Make
by
sure
the
y'all go to
underwater
TikTok
camera
and look that
was
up.
a Deepstaria enigmatica,
What?
a rarely seen jellyfish species. True to its name, it possesses an enigmatic appearance that is uncommon even for other deep-sea jellyfishes. This has a purpose, as they can easily catch small prey with their inflated medusa,
That's
stinging
Dory.
to death with its
Oh,
Oh,
tentacles.
Dory,
The
where is she?
Deepstaria enigmatica
Nemo will
can
be in
grow
there
up to
next.
2 feet long, but it can appear larger once it inflates
That's
itself.
a big
If
condom.
you're wary about encountering this creature the next time you take a dive in the ocean, then you're in luck, as they can only be found 5,000 feet below. That doesn't mean you're safe from other jellyfish species, though.
God.
In
I've seen-
1936, the very
Oh, we've
last
seen that.
thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, passed away. With its demise, an entire
1936?
species of incredible creatures vanished from the face of the
Incredible
earth.
creatures. What are you
Tragic.
on, bro?
Though there are. This snap captured in 1984 by Aboriginal tracker Kevin Cameron. I can definitely see the resemblance, the long rigid tail as well as that body, which looks like it has those iconic stripes on it.
I mean,
Both
it looks
indicate
a
it
little bit
could
like
really
it,
be
but I
one of
don't
the
know if that
tigers.
picture's from
It
that
certainly
time.
had Athol Douglas convinced, the zoologist that Cameron gave the photo to. He subsequently published a paper on it in New Scientist.
On the
However,
picture,
I'm
published
less
paper on that
convinced.
picture.
Why aren't there
Can't
any
tell what
other
that is.
photos? Maybe showing, the head?
Yeah,
Surely
exactly.
there'd be
Maybe
at
do a
least
little
one
bit more
other of
research
the
next
animal
time
in
there,
a
Willie.
way. Later on, Douglas reevaluated
Looks
the
like a
image and
stick.
realized the stripes were quite
I'm
different
sorry,
to that
Douglas.
seen on a thylacine, and even more damning that the animal was in fact dead and suffering from rigor mortis. That's quite the 180. It's definitely possible.
He got
that
it
a
all
small
way wrong,
handful of
didn't he?
Tassie survived past the 30s, but
Wow.
is this the evidence that proves it?
Jeez,
I'm
easy.
not so sure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Yeah.
If I told you a
Wow.
guy claimed to
Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
have recorded a mysterious
What did
animal
you
at a
think
zoo,
that was?
you'd probably think that dude was a bit dim. My guy, just read the sign outside the enclosure. Mystery solved. But what if I told you the creature in question was captured outside of the zoo perimeter?
Oh no.
Back in May 2022, the Amarillo Zoo in Texas noticed
And
this
it's in
creepy
the
looking
United States?
thing lurking outside a perimeter fence.
That's
Totally perplexed, they
terrible.
turned to the authorities for answers, and in June, the city of Amarillo shared the image to the public. They hoped somebody would be able to shed some light on just
They're
what
gonna
the
say it's
hell they
some
were
angle
looking
thing.
at.
Watch.
At first, the mysterious image gained a lot of traction, and the beastie was quickly dubbed the UAO. That is, Unidentified Amarillo Object. Some suggested it was a
Amarillo. What does
coyote
that
rearing
even
up on its
mean?
hind legs.
What's the
Others that
definition
it
of
was the
Amarillo?
legendary Chupacabra. The cryptid said to suck the blood of its unfortunate prey, which may explain why it was
Hey,
hanging
it
around
looks
a
like
zoo.
one. I
Still
ain't
others
gonna
put the
lie,
whole thing down to a hoax.
I'm
I mean, it
gonna tell
does
you what, it
look
was probably,
kinda like a guy wearing a wolf
it was
suit.
probably,
In
what's
the end,
guy's
though,
name?
we never got a straight answer, and slowly but
Robin.
surely the whole affair faded into the past.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Which says to
That's
me that
probably
there are
them
two
guys.
possible explanations.
They out there
Either it
blowing up
was
all
a big old
kinds of
joke at
stuff.
our expense, or the truth was so scary, it's been locked away forever. I'm sure you know that frogs have a pretty unique life cycle. They start out as frog spawn, hatch into tadpoles, then grow limbs, lose the tail, and finally become full-fledged frogs. That tadpole stage is super early on, and they're always tiny. So imagine the shock of one group of researchers when they discovered this absolute behemoth in 2018 in a pond in Arizona. Yes, that's a tadpole, and yes, it's enormous. Dubbed Goliath, the jumbo amphibian came in almost twice the size of a Coke
What?
can and was likely the result of some
There's
kind
no
of
way that's
hormonal
gonna-
imbalance
Tadpoles
preventing
are like
it from
sperm,
progressing
right?
into a frog.
Yeah.
Goliath was quickly taken by scientists to be studied, but sadly only stayed with them until 2019 when he passed away. It may be that his underdeveloped tadpole organs just couldn't keep up with that monster body. Either way, rest in peace, big lad.
That big
Here
boy.
is yet
That thing
another
was
deep-sea
humongous.
creature that'll surely make you squirm. In 2014, a Singaporean angler caught an underwater creature which he said was moving like an alien. Here is a glimpse of what he
the
caught.
heck? How you say you caught that?
This wriggly sea creature is called a basket star, an echinoderm, and a distant relative to the common starfish.
What?
Like other echinoderms, it develops
looks like a
multiple
smashed
arms
pumpkin.
in order to move around the seafloor and to gather food. Basket stars, however, have arms that branch into several slimmer arms, giving it a
See, you
weird
learn something
coral-like
new every day.
appearance. Another unique trait of this creature is that it is able to defend itself by curling its arms to form a tight ball whenever it is threatened, discouraging predators like sharks and eels from preying on them. A necessary skill to have on predator-infested waters. Like starfishes, basket stars often get beached if the current is strong enough, so yeah,
bet
there
you
is a
wouldn't be able to see
possibility
that
that
thing
you
in
may
the
get to
sand.
see a writhing mass of tentacles while you are finding a spot on the beach. If you're squeamish, you might
Then
want to
it
look
starts
away
grabbing
now.
you.
What the hell is that?
Its nose is not its nose anymore.
This is
What is-
not okay. This
No.
needs to stop now.
Yeah. What is happening?
What is that? It's coochie?
It's what it looks like, but what
Believe
is
it or not,
uh,
this isn't some kind of alien. It's actually a muntjac deer, a totally unique species with two pairs of huge scent glands on its brow and around its eyes.
What the?
These frankly gross face holes are used in communication and territorial marking. See, by expanding and contracting them, they release scents, allowing deer to convey info to others about their age, sex, reproductive status, territory, and presumably star sign. As
That
if
is
that
the
wasn't
weirdest
enough
shit
weirdness,
I've ever
male
seen,
muntjacs have tusks, which they'll use as
I've
weapons
never
of attack.
seen one of those in
Tusks.
my life.
But would you believe there's more? Muntjac deer have a pretty distinct way of vocalizing too. They
said,
bark.
"Hey."
Whatever. Just don't open those
That's
head holes at
weird.
me
It'd
again.
be like,
While
Where's
researching
the
for this
bearded
video,
one?
I fell down a
Right,
rabbit hole I had no
exactly.
idea even
That
existed.
motherfucker could
You see, I
choke.
stumbled across this
Get a little
strange
corn
clip.
cob down in there, he's choking on it. Wow.
what was that?
I thought it looked like a kid to me.
You saw that, right? Behind the rock? It almost looked like some tiny men peeking out from around the
Like a
corner,
kid with
then
a little hoodie
retreating when
on.
they thought they'd been spotted. I can't lie, my first reaction to this footage was
It looked like
ridicule.
it was two.
Little people? Like elves or leprechauns? Come on.
Might
But the
popped
more I
out.
looked into it, the more people I found sharing their own experiences with these so-called little people. Turns out they appear in folklore across the globe. Known by many names like pixies, dwarves, and yes, elves or leprechauns, they're said to build houses in trees and along streams and cause plenty of
There's
mischief.
no way that was
These
real.
particular guys seems like they're definitely up to no good, which is a common belief particularly among Native American communities. Heck, many natives are afraid of them. Most notably, though, the natives of Saskatchewan, Canada, where this video was recorded, have long told stories of so-called dwarves who live in the area.
Oh, well, then they're playing a
Apparently,
prank.
they
It's a
traveled in
prank.
canoes made of stone, the logistics of which I
Made of
really don't understand, and wore animal hide outfits.
How's a stone boat
Is that
float?
who we're
You
looking
tell
at
me
here?
that.
The skeptic in me says
tell
it's
me
still
that.
easily faked.
Unless it's got
Back in
a
2015, a
20
British
meter
tourist
long
named Harvey
fucking
Robertson was
surface
enjoying
area.
a perfect vacation
Like
in
that
sunny
dock.
Corfu. But after coming home and looking through his snaps, he was
But
shocked
still,
to
a
see
rock
something
boat?
strange that he hadn't noticed at the time. And one photo that he'd taken purely to capture the magnificent color of the water, he saw this watching him from beneath the waves. I've dubbed this bizarre-looking creature Staring Jim, for obvious reasons. Harvey opted to contact the press as well as various marine biologists in search of answers, and Staring Jim quickly went viral. Some believed it was a rare
why
beaked
can't
whale,
I?
others stinked. Others still maintained that it was a mutant created by nuclear waste, which sounds stupid even to me.
Nuclear waste
But the truth would wind up being stupider than anybody could have
Goes
ever
viral
imagined.
before
Are
me.
you ready?
That's
After
crazy
careful
work.
study, analysis, and debate, marine biologists determined that the true identity of Staring Jim was this. A plastic freeboard
What?
fender.
Is that
I'm
what
serious.
it was?
It seems
Oh
one
my
got lost
God.
in the water and was slowly warped by the
Goof
sun
tube?
until
Whoever
it
said
resembled
that's a
our
goof
old pal,
tube?
Staring Jim. What a letdown. If you believe that, of course. In my opinion, it
What's
does
way
look
down
different
there?
enough to bring this explanation into question.
look like that
This one's
either.
to you, Staring Jim. Brace yourself, here's a strange worm that will give you nightmares. Back in May 2015, the internet were all over a strange worm that expels this gooey white substance out of its mouth. This worm is called the ribbon worm, which is often found in large bodies of water. This slimy worm normally measures 20 centimeters, but they can appear longer thanks to their highly developed muscles, allowing them to contract or expand at will. But what surprises most people is its unique ability, which is their main tool for scavenging food. The white substance they expel is incredibly sticky, allowing them to trap their prey for later consumption, just like spiders in their webs. Ribbon worms are also poisonous, deterring predators from consuming them. While most ribbon worms seen in the wild are small, there are records showing that there are larger varieties of these worms growing up to 60 meters. If that fact didn't make you wince in terror, then I don't know what will. I get pretty bummed thinking about all the awesome prehistoric monsters that are long extinct. I'll never get to meet a trilobite, and it pains me. But then I saw this photo online and my whole world shattered. Isn't that a trilobite? How? Well, not quite. It turns out it's actually something called a triops. Unlike trilobites, these things never went extinct. In fact, they've been around for the last 400 million years. Indeed, since they first evolved, they've been practically perfect organisms and as such are part of an exclusive club called Living Fossils. You might be thinking these guys must be super rare. I know I did, but it turns out they're not. Heck, you can buy boxes of them as pets from Amazon. Yep, triops eggs are naturally adapted to survive in extreme conditions and only hatch in water, so can stay dormant for nearly 3 decades. As with any topic like this, we're inevitably gonna run into a whole host of crazy pigs that are too wild to be true. Who's that arriving in his 2012 Honda Civic? Why, it's Buzzkill Man! One of the very first photos I came across while researching this video was this. But what exactly is this thing? Photoshop? Most likely, but we don't really know for sure. The earliest appearance I could find was a 2008 4chan thread, so it was way before AI tools. Whatever the case, sadly, we can safely say it's not real. But some of these internet hoaxes are a little less obvious. Take this one. I've seen it doing the rounds on social media for a little while now, and lots of people are certain it's proof of a real-life alien. Sure, it looks a little bit convincing until you actually examine it. Just look at the backdrop. The hamper looks very funky looking, and those cans, can you read anything that's written on them? Of course not. They're gibberish. This is absolutely AI generated. But we can always rely on the esteemed channel Chills, can't we? He uploaded this clip a few years back in a video on mysterious creatures.
6:30, it has not let up at all. It is coming down pretty steadily here in...
Excuse me, what? This is so clearly a dude in a costume that I don't even think we need Buzzkill Man around anymore. I mean, just look at the full clip.
Look at him. Fell down and everything. Goober.
It's painfully obvious. In April of 2013, then student Colin Malarkey was out on Lough Foyle in Ireland filming an independent movie with his friends. Suddenly, their attention was turned away from the script and towards a strange shape emerging from the waves. Luckily, they already had a camera and quickly flicked it on.
What do you think? What is that? That's a whale. For sure, a whale.
Is that a head?
What the heck is that? Connell said he and his pals had seen whales before in the Lough, and this was definitely no whale. So what could it be then? It's moving damn fast, so whatever it is must be a strong swimmer. Could it be the Irish Nessie? That is, if it's a creature at all. Some commenters have pointed out that the boat visible behind the beast has some tethering cables attached to it. They believe that this is all just a hoax and those cables are attached to a huge prop beneath the surface that our boys are playing up as a sea monster. I understand the skepticism, after all these fellas are filmmakers, but that explanation just doesn't fly with me. If the monster was just a prop attached to those tethering cables, wouldn't the cables visibly move as it does? Heck, how would they be moving it at all? Is there a third, completely silent boat off camera pulling it along? Others point to Connell's last name, Malarkey, as an intentional misspelling of the slang malarkey, meaning insincere or foolish talk. I'd buy it if Malarkey wasn't a genuine family name that has existed since at least the 1800s. More convincingly, some have pointed out that despite claiming that the footage was shot on low foil, the landmass in the background seems to be Howth, 130 miles away from Foyle. That certainly brings the credibility into question, but could a couple of students really make a clip so convincing? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. You might have heard of skinwalkers, horrifying blood-sucking monsters of Navajo
drive right on
folklore.
through 'em if you
These
see
terrifying cryptids take on the form of animals to hunt their victims, though the transformations are said to be imperfect. The animals look and act weird, like this.
I'm definitely not gonna stop and see.
Oh my lord, what is
Looks
that?
like that.
Ew!
Oh God, the way that thing moves makes my blood run cold. Is it really a skinwalker?
It's a sloth.
I'm
You're
sure
right,
some of
Brett.
you have realized by now that this is actually a sloth. Yep,
Yeah.
it looks so weird because sloths are built for life in the trees. On the ground, they're utterly useless. In fact, they only ever climb down from their treetop abode to, relieve themselves. Yeah, turns out they're pretty particular about
They're
pooping.
like us.
They insist on digging a hole
out in
and
the
burying
woods
the
and
evidence, even if it takes them an age. So this clip, it probably shows a sloth on his way to go number 2. Ew. Now I wish it really was a skinwalker. In October 2022, Dale Hanchar and his wife Colleen set sail on Canada's Okanagan
this
Lake
stuff.
with their friend Myrna. The trio was looking to enjoy a nice warm day with a relaxing boat trip when Dale spotted something moving in the water. Cautiously, they swung their boat closer and snapped a photo. This is what they saw. I know the three of them were stumped too. So they posted it online asking for help. Some reckoned the weird shape was a bird mid-dive. They claimed the pointy bits are legs and that an eye and beak can be seen beneath the surface. Personally, I
No
can't
way.
see it. But then what else could it be? My first thought was seaweed, but of course seaweed doesn't grow in fresh water, and it doesn't look like any algae I've ever seen. According to natives, the Okanagan Lake is home to a sea monster known as the Ogopogo. Descriptions of the beast vary, but many claim the creature has some kind of ears or horns. What if this is Ogopogo? Dale, Colleen, and Myrna all seem to subscribe to this theory, describing how the supposed creature remained utterly still beneath the lake, as if watching them.
Right.
Speaking of sea monsters, in 2014, citizens out for a walk on the beach of Dikili, Turkey, stumbled across something completely chilling. There, lying on the sand, were the remains of a mysterious creature, one that seemed to have possessed 2 heads. A photo of the hideous beast went viral online and was picked up by many major news outlets. But it quickly became apparent what we were really looking at. This was no sea monster, it was a dolphin, one born with an extremely rare genetic mutation. Though it's unlikely to be the result of Simpson-style nuclear waste, it was probably a birth defect. It happens. Heck, in 2011, a 2-headed bull shark was discovered in the Gulf of Mexico. Sadly, that specimen passed away shortly after being removed from its mother's womb, which begs the question, how old was the double dolphin before it passed? Prepare yourself for one of the wildest stories I've ever heard. Okay, so way back in 1959, a Belgian Air Force colonel named Remy van Lierde was on a helicopter patrol in the Congo. Remy was a seasoned pilot with countless missions under his belt and an impressive resume. Suffice to say, he was well respected and knew what he was doing. So when he returned home and showed folks this grainy photo of what he saw on his Congo patrol, they took him seriously. In the middle there, can you see it? It's a colossal snake. One Remy guessed was around 50 feet long. After the shot was taken, the pilot apparently did another much closer pass over it, but this time the huge beast reared into the air, forcing a hasty retreat. It's certainly an incredible story. Some say too incredible. No snake that massive could really exist, right? Actually, it could. Around 47 million years ago, a prehistoric snake known as Vasuki indicus slithered the land. Scientists reckon it could have reached startling lengths of, you guessed it, 50 feet. But hey, if this ancient megasnake was still around, we'd know about it surely. Not necessarily. The Congo is a largely unexplored ecosystem made up of about 1.4 million square miles of rainforest. If there was anywhere in the world that something like Vasuki could be lurking, I'd bet it was here. That said, Remy's story still has its critics. The single photo he shared has some seriously ambiguous sizing. Sure, he claimed he took it from way up in the sky, but Is all that foliage
Wow,
really
it's blurry
trees?
now.
Or is the photo way closer to the ground than it appears and we're actually looking at grass? That'd make the snake regular size after all. Well, a Redditor named Butt Donald's Happy Meal did some sleuthing and found something that seems to prove this theory wrong. He found potentially the exact location the photo was taken on Google Earth. The quality isn't great, sure, but you've got to admit that color matchup is uncanny. So big snake or big story? Sound off in those comments. If you're old enough to have been browsing the internet in 2022, you might remember seeing this strange photo floating around web pages as one of those banner ads with a caption like, "Boy pets creature before realizing what it is." If you'd clicked it, you'd have been led to a whole dramatized telling of the tale with very little truth behind it. You want to know what the creature really is? Alright then, but don't say I didn't warn ya. Buzzkill Man, get over here. This is the video the screenshot was taken from.
The squid.
Now that it's in motion, it's fairly obvious it's just a cute stingray. But now for something decidedly less adorable. Picture this. You're walking alone in the woods one evening. It's deathly quiet. That is, until you accidentally kick a bulbous object and it squeals. Slowly, you lower your gaze to see this. A
What
cold
the-
sweat runs down your brow as you tiptoe around the gelatinous creature to take a good look at it, and you
That's
immediately
gotta
regret
be
it.
fake.
Gah,
Man,
what
did
is
you
it?
see that
The
though?
result
That's a
of some
tick.
mad scientist's
Man, did you see
demented
that
work.
though?
Oh
My cousin
my
Harold
God.
after he's finished eating Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh.
As you might have guessed by now, Buzzkill Man's still around, so the answer is much less dramatic. This freak is actually a model you can purchase from a seller on Etsy named
Why would you wanna
Laria
purchase that?
Manganuko, aka Baby Creatures. He
Ew.
specializes in making demented sculptures just like this one for the discerning buyer. So want to guess how much he was selling this thing for? Go on, I dare ya. If you guess $3,500, you're correct. Yeesh.
That's gonna do it for us today, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Peace.